Hello pranksters, Christian Havercardman here, back at you with another video today, and this time around we are celebrating my 200 subscribers because you guys are just absolutely incredible. The support you've been giving this channel is just insanely amazing, and we're already over a quarter of the way to 300, so guys, please kill that subscribe button down there. Let's see if we can hit it before the end of the year, if not before I hit my first full year being on this channel. So that being said, for the 200 subscriber special, I decided to post out on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me there, I will have links down in the description to my Twitter page for you to go check out and follow, because that's where I give like the most updates on my channel. I will also be doing an actual channel update at some point this week as well. I don't know if it's going up before or after this. I haven't really figured that out yet. But for this special, I put up a poll on Twitter, if I can speak, with 3 different options, and those options were a special deck review or profile, a Q&A, which is what we're doing today, and a rap, which they were, the rap and the Q&A were very close in the polls. They actually only won out by like a single vote, so I'm really excited to be doing this Q&A for you guys today, and not a Yu-Gi-Oh rap, because that would just be cringy, especially now that I got braces on. I don't know if you guys noticed that last video or two, so I might sound a little bit different than normal. I might slur a little bit or just have a different sound in general, so hopefully it doesn't impact things too much. I'm gonna have these suckers for the next 2 years, but it is what it is. I need to get my teeth straightened. So actually, before we get into this video today, don't forget to check out all those links down in the description, and once again, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you guys are interested, I just opened up my Twitter store with the handle @HaverStore, which is it's a separate account. It's the Havercard store, and I'm going to be listing up singles on there. I am doing stuff like pre-built decks. I've already got my first one up for pre-order, which is 3 of these bad boys. I got 3 pre-built appliancer decks for you guys to go buy. Only 25 bucks a pop, with sleeves and deck box included, so be sure to go check that out, and shipping included as well. So be sure to go look at that. And I'm also working on selling sealed product. Like, I got a full case of these guys. I got 11 left to offload and to sell to you guys. So if you're looking for any Phantom Rage boxes, go ahead and hit me up, and I will go ahead and talk to you about that. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into today's Q&A, starting off with some of your guys' questions. These are in no particular order. Like, they're not going to be like chronological order or anything. It's just how I scroll down the tweet and look at your guys' questions. So alright, first question today comes from @TCGTally. What inspires you as a content creator? So this actually comes from a varying few sources. Most of the inspiration I find is within myself. It's just like that motivation to get up every day and do what I love to do. It's more so the love of the craft that inspires me most to continue doing all this stuff. I really just love editing and making videos for you guys, and it's been such a good experience that I really would not trade it for anything else. And I'm very grateful to be able to do this as much as I do and as regularly as I do it, even if it means like sacrificing a couple hours of sleep. You know, it's all worth it to me. But there's other content creators as well, usually of the lower tier, like where I'm at, that really inspire me. King Scarlet Yu-Gi-Oh being one of them. Totally plugging his merch right here. I don't know if he's still got it up on his store, but if he does, I'll bug him for the link to put that down in the description for you guys on his Teespring. Him being one of them, really all the members of the coalition inspire me every day. They're all excellent people, and they just kind of keep me motivated to keep me going. And it's really that end goal. Like, there's not really any particular end goal I have with this channel, but just knowing where it could end up in the future is probably what inspires me like the absolute most. But the people do a lot as well, and I really want to thank all of them a whole lot for getting me here. Alright, next question here comes from No Milling from the Deck November, otherwise known as @FTDY, another member of the coalition. His question, in case you wanted to avoid my previous question target, can you please demonstrate how well do you rap? Okay, so I knew there was no way I was escaping that when I put up rap in the poll. I knew that somebody was going to ask a question about it, and I knew it was either going to be him or King Scarlet. So stick around till the end of the video if you want to hear my Yu-Gi-Oh rap. It's cringy, but it was fun. I enjoyed making it. I might do more in the future. We'll see. If everyone tells me not to rap, I'll probably just do it anyways. So, all right. So that your question will get answered at the end of the video then, YT. If you want to stick around, and King Scarlet, I know you want to see this too. It'll be at the end of the video. It's like a 1 minute long rap, so it's nothing too crazy. All right. So next up here, we have Josh over at JS Cards asking, do you have a favorite card in your collection? 1 second here. I know you said singular card, but I hope this counts. We got 33 copies of Winged Karibo. Thanks to Cypher Cards, I ended up winning a raffle. And honestly, these are my most prized possessions. These 33 copies of a common printing Winged Karibo. There's nothing better in the world than these guys. Absolute best card. I don't care what you say is best deck. Winged Karibo, best boy 2020. Let's go. So I guess that answers that question. All right, and if it makes it even better, these guys chill out on my desk. They're like my comfort item for when I start getting stressed. All right, next up here is a question from Red Eyes Jacolo, which I can tell is more of a joke, but I'm going to answer it anyways. When a doctor doctors a doctor, does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor is the doctor being doctored, wants to be doctored, or does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor as he wants to doctor? Yes. Next question. All right, next up here comes from Professor Bonsai or at Artist with a Fro. He asks, what are your favorite / least favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes? So for favorite, you guys should already know this. It's Prank Kids and Heroes, like hands down. More specifically Elemental Heroes, but I can deal with the whole hero archetype as a whole. Outside of that, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't really have many favorites outside of that. Mostly machines. Machines are some of my favorites, like Cyber Dragons, Machina. Orcus are okay, but, you know, that's just kind of what I generally like. And as for my least favorite archetypes, really just a lot of, like, the meta stuff. I don't like playing a lot of, like, super heavy meta decks. Stuff like your Eldritch, well, I can't say Adamancipator because I just did an Adamancilith profile last month, but that is a little bit different because it's more of a rogue style deck, but you know, I just don't like playing those kind of brain dead decks. Dinos being another one of them. It takes no effort at all to play dinos. I like things that kind of make me think a little bit and make me have to like maneuver around what I'm doing. Like control decks are good because you have to know when to time all of your cards. And then other decks like combo decks, like really heavy combo decks, are really fun to go down these different combo lines and know how to like interact with the game and still be able to kind of get your plays going and be able to dodge stuff and play around certain things. I think it's really interesting to do that. It's more so like a puzzle, and that's what really intrigues me. Anything that like actually makes this work is what I really enjoy. Anything that it just goes brr and just spurs everything out, I don't like those decks. They aren't really fun to me. I really like the interaction of the game. Whether I win or lose, I just love having that interaction. All right, next question. Young Man Ray here is asking, what kind of unique playstyle would you like to see more? Or if you could come up with a new playstyle, what would it be? Example of unique playstyles: Dogmatic sending extra deck monsters to grave, Kaiju's tribute opponents' monsters to summon themselves, etc. So for this one, I don't know like what mechanics I'd like to see more of that we already have. I kind of like the thought of like the graveyard stuff. I know a lot of people would hate that because it's so easy to just fill up our graveyard and do summoning, but I think synchros kind of need more of that because now with Tri Brigades we have that for link summoning. Obviously we've had that for fusion summoning for some time now. It feels like, and well, Exceeds, I mean, you could kind of do it with Exceeds, but they've got enough support. Synchros seem to be the ones that are kind of lacking. I just want to see more stuff for Synchros. And, like, a new mechanic for Synchro summoning I think would be cool to make them a little bit more viable. I mean, obviously you get, like, a lot of your generic Synchros that are really good, like Crystal Wing and Borreload Savage and Crocodragon Archithist. There's all these good, like, generic Synchros, but I'd love to see a cool mechanic for actual Synchro monsters that could just have a lot of fun time playing the game. You know, I think that'd be really cool. I'd also like to see more stuff like more trap oriented decks that just do like a little bit more, you know, because a lot of the times traps are too slow. I just feel like I feel like traps need some more love, like or some. I have another question coming on down the line that will kind of come back to this and answer it in a different way. It's a slightly different question, but it's kind of similar. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Basically, just something more trap-based or more synchro-based. Like, don't get me wrong, I love all the other methods in the game and all the other types of things that we have, but I think that this needs a little bit more attention. Next up is, of course, King Scarlet asking, why do you still deny the concrete truth that Appliancer is the best deck? Your question will also get answered at the end of the video with the wrap, so go on and stay till the end. Alrighty, next on the docket here, Sir Scrub asking, what are your goals to reach before the new year, and what decks have you the most hyped? Pranks being obvious, so obviously not really reading that one. So goals to reach before the end of the new year, obviously 300 subscribers would be awesome. If we could go the extra mile and go for 500, It'd be super dope. I highly doubt it's going to happen, but I could always be hopeful. So, otherwise, it's mostly just upping my content game, just getting better each and every day at editing, learning more of my software, and learning more of how to use it, and be able to produce you guys some entertaining content. That is my biggest goal at the end of the day, is being able to produce content that you guys enjoy and maybe even find helpful. So, that being said, what's my most hyped deck right now? Probably Heroes with Maximum Gold, because we're getting some good reprints. I'm excited for the Stratos reprint, the Apollousa, which Apollousa is not really all that good in Heroes just because of a lot of situations, but I actually haven't looked at the full reprint list, but just Heroes in general, like there's always going to be new hero support, and I'm always down for it, so other than that, I can't really say what decks I'm the most hyped for. I mean, the Live Twins look like a lot of fun. I am definitely excited for that one to see how that plays out. I don't think it's going to be too crazy of a deck, but it's a nice little advantage engine that can be splashed with a few other things, so I think it'll be interesting, to say the least. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not really, like, super hyped for anything. I'm more hyped for a lot of, like, individual cards than I am decks themselves. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Alrighty, Relinquished Soul asking, do you have any Yu-Gi-Oh! Conspiracy theories, card game, or anime? So, I mean, I really don't like getting into the whole conspiracy theory thing. There are a couple of things about Yu-Gi-Oh! That I do feel are a little sus, though. I mean, GX, obviously, Jaden was gay. Everyone tries to deny it. Jaden's gay, I'm sorry. Or at least bisexual, like, you can't deny it. But anyway, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that one, or a lot of conflict in the comment section, so please don't harass people. For the actual trading card game, though, I know Konami does a lot of stuff kind of behind the scenes that we don't really know about. Obviously, the short printing thing got revealed eventually, but who knows how long that's been going on, and who knows how long that will keep going on. I mean, there's no way they've stopped doing that. They're doing it to an extent, I'm sure, like messing with ratios to where you'll obviously see a lot more of certain cards so that you'll have to buy more product to get the cards that you see less of. It's their business, it's a scheme, it's just how it's supposed to work. They're trying to make money, and I can't blame them in any sense of the fashion, but I just feel like there's no way that short printing and core sets is no longer a problem. Like, it's still got to be to some degree. That's just how I feel about it, though. I could very well be wrong, and that's probably like the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Conspiracy theory I'd really have. I don't really dig into a lot of that stuff. I'm just here to play the game and have fun, but it was a very interesting question, and that's why I took it. Red Eyes Jacolo came back with another question and said, what's the best deck? And Dankimus replied, obviously, Charizard. Cannot argue that logic. Best deck, Prank Kids, 100%. Once again, this question is also answered at the end of the video on the wrap. Go listen. This whole video is just going to be me hinting at you guys. Just go to the end of the video and listen to that wrap. Alright. Next up here is actually one from outside of the community. I believe this person is a writer, and I really appreciate the question. What is the best advice you ever received? And that is to be critical of yourself, but don't let it bring you down. Bad paraphrasing, but I'm actually going to give two pieces of advice here, because there's another one I just realized it's really good. But basically what this means is just be able to, like, look at your stuff and look at what you've done with your own eye, or maybe with the eyes of others, and see what you can do better, but don't let it get you down to heart. Let it be like a motivation that can keep pushing you to do better, rather than thinking what you did sucked and that you can't really go any further from there. You can always do better, and that's something to live by. I think the better wording for it was, don't listen to people that say you're perfect where you are, or you're great where you are. Like, if that's the case, especially when you're feeling down, then you're just gonna think that it doesn't get any better. But it does. You can definitely always progress and get better, and I think that's probably one of the best advice I've ever received. Alongside of that is one that actually came from my dad, that is, so it's hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So that way, no matter what situation you end up in, you'll be prepared for it. So if everything goes well and things go the way you want it and you get the best results possible, you can celebrate and be happy, but you can also have a backup plan in case things go wrong, and you know what to do to keep going and be able to push through that. It's mostly just be prepared, if nothing else, but, still hope for the best, so that way you can still be trying for it. Because if all you're doing is just preparing for the worst, then that's all you're really going to get out of it most times. So I think that is some pretty solid advice in general. It's really been keeping me through a lot. And it's what allows me to kind of get a little bit more creative with some of my stuff, because the worst case scenario is that some people don't like it and I just don't do it again. So just remember that, just think about the worst case scenario, think about what it actually is, think about what the best case scenario is, and then think about what will actually happen. It does a whole lot in saving you a lot of brain space and brain power, because you're not sitting there worrying about all the little things that can go wrong. You just are able to go through it and just do your work. So that's what I think. If you're looking for advice from me, that's probably about the best I'm going to give you. Alrighty, next up, and this is one that I think is really interesting. Mr. Konami, this is from at Regret Machine, by the way. Mr. Konami comes to you and asks you to design Master Rule 6, so what do you make? So I like the whole concept of link arrows, and I think it would actually be really interesting if we were to be able to transfer that into the spell and trap zone as well. I've seen a lot of interesting stuff that, or a lot of interesting cards that definitely interact with columns and zones and stuff. And I think it would be really cool if we were able to do something like link arrows with spells and traps. I think Weather Painters actually kind of have this mechanic a little bit, but it's like if the spells and traps have arrows like where they point to certain zones, and like those zones can receive certain effects. Like you can have a normal spell and trap, and then on top of that they have a bonus effect that regards to those arrows. And stuff like that. You could still have like bottom arrows at that point. It would just correspond to like your opponent's arrows or your opponent's zones in those arrows, I guess. I don't. It's hard to explain it that way, but I think that would be really cool to have a mechanic like that where it's your spells and traps also get arrows too. Like why not? And then you could if you have a link monster whose arrow points bottom right and you have a spell or trap card in that zone that points upper left, and those could be considered co-linked. I think that could be a really interesting thing to do, kind of freshen up the game a little bit. I think spells and traps need a new mechanic because as it is, like we've only been giving new mechanics to monsters. I mean, fusions, links, synchros, exceeds. I think it'd be cool to get a new spell or trap mechanic like that. It would just be something interesting to kind of spice up the game a little bit and make it to where it's not just a monster-oriented game, because you get decks that are like Sekka's Light builds, and they're just all monsters with one copy of Sekka's Light. They're fun, but I think having that more interaction with the spells and traps as well would be really cool, and it would be a way to be able to create new archetypes too, like with entirely new mechanics, and just have even more fun ways to play. I think it would be really exciting to do, and I'd have a lot of fun with it, and of course it'd be cool to add into Prank Kids. Alrighty, at Porcelain Geist asks, do you believe that Alistair is best boy? Well, I kind of need my normal summon, so no, I'm sorry. Prank Kids Fansies, 100% best boy. You tried, though. Alistair's close. He's top 5. He's number 5. It goes Fansies, Roxy's, Lampsies, and Dropsies, and then Alistair. Sorry, buddy. Alrighty, TC Dankmas coming in asking here, if you never found Prank Kids, what archetype or deck would you be playing and why? Heroes, hands down. I was actually playing Heroes well before Prank Kids, and that was what I grew up on. I grew up on Elemental Heroes. I watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX all the time. It was my favorite anime, and it's still one I watch regularly, and I love Heroes in general. Elemental Heroes are super awesome, and I just have a lot of fun playing them. And before I actually started playing like more competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even like Rogue style stuff, like last year when I came back to the game after being gone since 2012, when my meta was normal summoning Stratos with a polymerization in hand to get an Elemental Hero Great Tornado was my meta. Coming back into the game last year was really weird, and I tried playing my heroes again until I quickly realized that they weren't good, at least not the build that I had, because I was still trying to play 2012 Elemental Heroes. But when I came back into the game and I saw this new stuff going on, I hosted a card event, actually, or it was a game event at a local place, and basically it was just a full game night where just nerds of all kinds could come. We had people playing Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, D&D, board games. It was just a good fun night, but I also made sure that I bought stuff to actually be able to sell to people there if they wanted a few things to supply them with. So of course I had Yu-Gi-Oh packs. I bought a box of Hidden Summoners, and it was like I ordered it about a month before the event. I cracked open a couple of packs so I knew what was in the box to be able to sell people, so I knew what I was giving them, and that was when I found Prank Kids. But if I had never actually done that and I never opened up that box and found what was inside, I would definitely be playing Heroes right now. So I guess that's the short answer for you. It's Heroes. I'm sorry. Alrighty, Rank Up / Anime Noob asks, if you had to pick a ban list / format to play under for the rest of your life, no cards added to the pool, almost as if the game was frozen in time, what format, time / ban list would you pick and why? Well, I'm guessing this means that like the card pool is also limited at that time as well, so honestly, I'm going to go with right now because that means I can play Prank Kids, and there is currently a whole lot of cards in the game. I mean, we're over 10,000 cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG right now, which means there is a whole lot of deck building options to explore, a whole lot of different techs and fun ways to play the game. I feel like I can be creative enough with it to find my way around it with Master Rule 5. It's actually a pretty good place in the game right now. I know a lot of people would argue with me just because of the meta and how stale it kind of is, but that's because we've been playing it for so long already. I think if it was frozen in time like this for long enough, people would start moving away from those normal meta decks and start getting more creative as well and trying to have more fun with the game, because obviously they get bored playing the same things over and over again. So I think we kind of force our creativity a little bit and let things get a little bit interesting. So honestly, I think right now is actually a pretty good time and place to freeze the format if that were a necessity. I'd still like to add more stuff and get new things in, but I think right now is pretty good. Alrighty, and the very last question of the video here is Brandon Knight at 10 count TCG. Why did Tingo Scra? Because burr. I don't know how to answer that one. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for everyone who submitted questions, and once again, be sure you smash that like and subscribe button so we can hit that road to 300 and get another subscriber special here pretty quick. And just thank you guys again so much for all the support. I don't know why. It's just so insane to me that I'm already over 200 subscribers in less than a year. Every other channel I've started has never been like this, and I've barely been able to breach the 100 subscriber threshold. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for all supporting me. And it really means a lot. And you guys are a big push in what keeps me doing this and making more content for you guys, because I really enjoy doing it. And this is really what I want to do. So please be sure to go keep supporting me down there. And once again, if you want to go check out my store on Twitter, you can definitely go check that. I'll have the link to that as well. And also my normal TCG player store, where I've also got singles, and I'll also have my sealed product like Phantom Rage. But if you want the stuff like the pre-built decks and deck boxes and sleeves and whatnot, go hit on my Twitter store and I'll be able to hook you up there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wrap at the end of this. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Remember to have fun and make your move. Peace out. I just really wish that we could take the time of day to wish each other well and not sit and dwell on what's the best deck. Is it BA or appliances? Who can really tell? Only time will let us see. Can you please just let it be? We all know Prankins will get that seat. I thought they were overhyped when they were just one card away from being overtyped. I see your little play, and I'm just here to say, today is my day. Prankins are here to save the day. Well, you're a day away, you can't step to this level when your machines are on delay. Where's straight edge when you're an awkward bevel? Nothing you can do now but to lie down and grovel while I bury you 6 feet down beneath the gravel. Thank you for your time, I only mean the best. When the worst is all you offer, I would play the game, but you've already failed the test. It's just time to give it a rest. This is the Have a Card Man, and this has been a jest.
I'm a love giver.